Kia ora koutou, no mai haere mai, and welcome to Frogs on Friday. And before we get started, a quick shout out to all of those supporting Pink Shirt Day today. Now, as you can see, I actually managed to wear a pink shirt. Did a bit better than some other years where I bought the shirt and then completely forgot to put it on the day. So it's getting another run today. On today's show, so for Mahi Media, we're looking at how much New Zealanders are saving by working from home. So really hot topic in this kind of environment. We will, of course, go through our hot jobs across New Zealand, and also if you're looking at working holiday options as well abroad. And we're joined today by founder and CEO of Video My Job, 𝗦𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. I even stopped to make sure that I got the name right, and I still stuffed it up. So sorry, David. So David's on today to discuss how Video My Job has become the world's fastest growing employer brand and recruitment marketing startup, and how videos are really changing the recruitment journey. And we will finish off, as always, with our social media poll results. So let's jump straight into Mahi Media. Now, I thought we'd take a look at a poll that we've run a couple of weeks ago, looking at obviously the trend towards working from home, hybrid working, and seeing what kind of differences that's making to our employees. So we found that 67% of employees said that they spend time on life admin while working from home. No real surprise there. And that's things like it might be the housework, it might be going for a quick run, and being able to really get that balance in. I think one of the other big results was the cost savings that they were able to achieve. So really important in these times of cost of living crisis. So we found that 1/3 of workers were able to save over $100 a week. So if you add that up, so just over $5K a year that you can save. So that might be on things like travel, parking, meal costs. So really for employers, I think that's a thing to consider. So giving workers the chance to be able to get on top of life admin can really bring in some big dividends when it comes to workplace well-being, and of course those financial benefits. So especially now, employers may not be in a position to offer a pay rise, but by offering flexible working, I guess that's another way that they're able to help take away some of the costs associated with working in the office. So, as I said, petrol costs, of course, or public transport, parking, even things like buying lunch in the city all add up. And I guess the flip side of that, as well as those benefits that are really valued by a lot of employees, really important. And we've heard some news of businesses trying to push workers back into the office full time, but you've really got to weigh up whether the benefits of that are going to outweigh I guess the lack of satisfaction from your team if flexible working is removed and they're forced back into the office. So I've talked about, you might be able to solve a visibility problem where you're able to see your team there, see what they're up to, but you might replace that with presenteeism where they're in the office, yes, but are they really working to their full extent if they're not happy about the situation? So a little bit of food for thought there. Let's take a look now at some of the hot jobs across Aotearoa. Okay, so we'll start out with the role from our temp and contracting space. So this one is a fixed term contract to begin with. So looking around the equivalent of a 70 to 80K full-time role. So this is for a payroll administrator. It's based in Auckland. And it looks like it's a little bit more than just administration. So you do need experience with being able to process an entire payroll. And this one's a size of 280 employees and on a fortnightly basis. For this one, looks like the system is Procedure. And of course, some handy Excel skills will be a big bonus for this role as well. If you do have experience in payroll and are looking for your next role or are at a loose end at the moment, get in touch with 𝗬𝗁𝗍𝗍 in our Auckland team. Let's have a look at our perm role for the week. Okay, so out of accounting and finance and into the world of sales. So this one's an outbound sales consultant or telesales role. Looking at a base pay of around just around that 60K mark, might be able to nudge it up a little bit higher depending on experience. Definitely for this one, you do need that experience and a success track record with outbound calls, as well as being able to do the admin as well. Make sure there's a record of what's going on and keeping things up to date in the CRM system. If you're interested in this role and want to give it a crack, get in touch with Manish from our Auckland team as well. So let's take a look at some of the opportunities for working holidays. Okay, so just a selection of the roles that we have on offer. Of course, we've got branches all across Australia as well as in the UK and London as well. So there's an admin officer, temp role, accounts receivable in South Australia. Sorry, the first one was Sydney. And London, they always have a great variety of jobs there, and interior designer. So again, if you're interested in making the move, I always say stay here, please stay here. But if you do have to go, be sure to get in touch with us so that we can hook you up with our great teams across Australia and the UK. Okay, David, thanks so much for joining us here today. Now, I know we've been a client of 𝗬𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗿 for many years, probably one of the first to jump on board there. And we know that it's made a massive difference in the world of recruitment. Can you tell us a little bit about who 𝗬𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗿 is and the impact of the role of video in the recruitment process?
Yeah, hi. So 𝗬𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗿 is really solving a meaningful problem where companies really struggle to communicate culture at a critical time within the talent acquisition workflow. We're making it really easy for candidates to really understand what it's like to work within the organization, who they're going to be working with, so they can make a call if it is the right fit for them. And there are really good benefits, incredible benefits to the organization who implement 𝗬𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗿, because retaining people costs a lot of money if people are joining the business and feeling disconnected and leaving. So that's a little bit about 𝗬𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗿 and what we do. It's a software product that companies around the world really do love. We're in over 50 countries and represent some of the world's biggest companies.
Yeah, cool. Now, I think when you maybe when you came up with the name 𝗬𝗁𝗍𝗍𝗿, obviously it was a bit literal in what the product does. But I know from our experience across the people-to-people group and Frog, We started out using it to advertise jobs and to be able to, I guess, give candidates that peek behind the curtain and to be able to share that information that you just can't fit everything onto into the text in a job advertisement. But pretty quickly we started using it for other things as well, to be able to, we might use it to promote candidates, or to be able to share insights with our team as well. So what are some of the things with the introduction of video that you've seen in other ways that I guess your clients have benefited from your product?
Yeah, the evolution has been similar to what people to people and recruitment have experienced, where initially they do start to improve the job ad. Recruitment, there's a number of principles in recruitment. One of the golden rules is that recruitment is marketing. So starting with a job ad is not a bad place to start. But once you get your hands on video, a little bit of addictive, because effectively you can communicate so much better than what you would just typically with text. So improving communication with candidates is definitely a really strong use case, but also internally as well, whether it be through training or internal communication, just generally. There's a number of use cases. So when we started Video My Job back in 2016, 100% of the use cases was for a job ad, but fast forward to today and it represents 18%. And what we've seen, the rise of employee stories, which are really powerful to build trust and really make some great connections for companies, to inspire people who are on the fence. Should I apply? Shouldn't I apply? To click the apply button because they feel it's the right opportunity for them.
Yeah, fantastic. I guess on the flip side of that, what would you say have been some of the biggest challenges, perhaps both for yourself as well as other recruiters or in-house teams, in terms of making that transition into a more video-centric recruitment process, or involving that more in how they go about promoting their roles?
Yeah. It's a good question. The barriers. So the barriers have changed. Initially, when we'll talk pre and now of COVID. So there's a real reluctance of people to get on video prior to COVID. People would commonly say that they don't like the way they look or sound on video. And through COVID and having to do video conferencing, the whole industry just took a giant step towards video, which has been really helpful. So the issues today, or the issue that really does exist, is leadership. Is probably the big thing. Recruiters are really busy. They manage their requirements and they're juggling a whole bunch of different things. And it does come down to the leaders within the organization that have the right strategy and have executed the plan to bring people into the organization, within the organization, to create video content, and then have a really encouraging environment for people who are putting themselves out there, who just representing themselves personally, but also the company.
Yeah, cool. I think initially, just thinking back to my own experience and many years ago, I think initially it was that, yeah, of course, the fear factor of seeing yourself on screen, and it's more when you're replaying it back or you're editing it, so you have to listen to yourself 5 times, not just the once. But also I think some people thought, I'm not really that tech savvy, or I don't know how to edit this, or I can see that people are using captions. Is this going to be really hard? But there's been some big developments in making that really user friendly, and it's just an app on your phone and off you go. What would you say to, I guess, different businesses who may be thinking, oh, this could be a good tool for us? Is it the right thing for us to pick up?
Well, I'd say they would have to have a really strong use case or a reasonable use case to be able to give it a go, and free up someone's time to be able to implement Video My Job, because the software is definitely not the problem. The software, you can film, you can edit, you can distribute, you can track effortlessly. There's AI that's been built into the platform. There's project management tool that people can use to send campaigns to individuals who aren't in the office. To your point a little earlier, people do work from home, so the technology supports managing a project really easily. So it all comes down to leadership. It comes down to understanding the metrics you want to be able to move. It's very, very clear if you do implement video, you will be able to fill your jobs faster. You'll get better quality applications, conversion increases, time to fill, attrition, retention. These are all key metrics. It's very rare that I do a business case, because I do a lot of business cases. And if we get access to their metrics, and usually ahead of talent operations or within a recruitment agency, a marketing manager have metrics. It's very rare that for every $1 they give us, we give them $20 back. With recruitment agencies, you can make money. Within talent acquisition, it's more about them saving money, improving the candidate experience, and really hitting those key metrics. And they're important metrics to be mindful of, because that's what the CFO or the executive sponsor is paying for within talent acquisition. And then from a recruitment agency perspective, they want to make more money. They want to make more placements quicker. They want to win customers. So being able to cut away from the pack is something they can do. So it all comes back to the strategy, and it all comes back to metrics that you want to move. So clear eyes. And that's what we find ourselves doing, is really helping the business identify where the opportunities are. Because just showing a video to say, oh, will it work? Won't it work? If you're sort of sitting on the fence, then it's more likely not to go and work. We've just got to think about how people consume content, and video is prevalent through sport and news. It's how we consume content, and candidates are no different. So it's coming up with the right strategy to be able to communicate more effectively to those people.
Perfect. Well, hopefully not too many other recruitment agencies are watching today, so that we don't lose our competitive edge there. But thanks so much for joining us today, David. Let's have a look at the polls. All right, so we were talking about cost of living last week, and let's have a look at the results here. So, yeah, a bit of a mixed bag here. By far the biggest, I guess, result of the rise in cost of living is that you're expecting an increase in salary expectations. So again, that makes sense. Things cost more, so you need more money coming in to be able to cover that. I guess the tricky thing with that is, of course, that businesses are also struggling with those rising costs as well. So maybe it might be things like flexible working or other benefits that they can throw in the mix to make things easier for you there. Let's take a look at our question for this week. So with the rise in recent years, do you think your company is falling behind without utilizing AI? Again, this is a simple yes or no. So I'd love to hear your comments and whether you think your business or organization is keeping up with the rapid changes in this market. Okay, so that is it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us today. And we will, of course, be back same time next week. We'll love to see you then. Ka kite anō.